We just saw Sabrina Nelson on stage performing Molting, so welcome back. So your piece resonates on so many levels, but what hits you first is the silence. And why did you choose silence?
Silence, for me, I wanted to deal with emoting because there are language barriers, but we understand grief. Grief is common to all of us. And so I wanted it to be felt, and I didn't want to use words because then that sort of narrates how I'm thinking. And I want you to have your own story with it, your own connection, your own empathy with it. And I think emoting it, you can feel that energy.
I'd like to know what your connection is to the blackbird.
A grouping of crows is called a murder of crows. A grouping of ravens is called an unkindness or a conspiracy. When I think of groups of black beings and brown bodies, people get nervous because they don't understand why they're gathering. Some people call them gangs. Some people call them dangerous. We call them family. And so when you're afraid of what you don't understand, lives can be taken. And I'm talking about in my particular piece how black beings are murdered and their mothers have to bury them. They no longer are protected in our wombs. That's the first home. The second home would be the nest, and then they fly out of the nest like George Floyd, and they live in their own homes like Breonna. Their mothers had to bury them. And I want to talk about what that grief is like, because I want us all to honor and value black and brown beings like we do other beings, and we don't.
What message do you want to leave?
The message that I would leave is, for me, mindfulness is a practice of reminding myself that this is the only moment that really exists now. Rumi says, if you live in the past, you are depressed. If you live in the future, you're anxious. But if you live in the moment, you're at peace. Just thinking about loss and grief, and when it takes over me and washes over me, I have to bring myself back to the moment and say, you're okay. Everything is okay.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Sabrina
you.
Nelson, for all your wisdom and your art and your expression.